As you go through and start playing with these different ad types on Facebook, you'll notice that there are a few differences between the different ad types. There are a lot of similarities though, and we're going to go through and take a look at brand awareness as an example first. Okay, so we're going to choose brand awareness. We'll choose that. One thing I really suggest you do is go through and actually add in a name for your particular ad that you're creating. The reason why this is important, and it seems kind of silly right now, but when you start running 5, 10, 15 ads, if they all have the exact same name in Ad Manager, it can be really frustrating for you trying to figure out which one was your better performing ad, which one is the worst one. You'll see the data, but if they all have the same name, it's not very helpful. So I encourage you to go through and actually give, a name that's indicative of what the actual ad is that you're running. So here we could call, this the first ad, and maybe we say it's with the, I don't know, campus shoot or something. And that way it'll give us some indication of what's actually happening in this particular ad. We'll hit continue, and then on this next page, we're gonna see a bunch of different information. First off, we're gonna see questions about who the audience is that we want the ad served to. We're also gonna see questions about where we want that ad actually being shown on Facebook, Instagram, and elsewhere. We're then going to see questions down here about the budget and scheduling for the ad. Up here in the right hand corner, we're going to see audience size, and we're also going to see estimated daily results. Audience size refers to the potential pool of people who could see your ad. This is how many people could see your ad if you had tons of money and basically could spend as much as you possibly wanted to have all those people see your ad. The estimated daily results, this is going to be how many people are actually likely to see your ad given the budget that you've specified. And that default is going to be $5 a day. So for $5 a day, you're going to have an estimated daily results of 1.5 to 4.3 thousand people. Right away though, taking a look at this, what we want to notice is that there's 220 million people who could potentially see your ad. It's basically anybody who's in the country who's on Facebook. That seems like a pretty big set of people to me. So what you probably want to do is first off is pop in and start adjusting some of these different location and gender and age settings to make more precise adjustments to who's actually going to see your ad. So one of the very first things we can do is we can adjust the location. So right now we have it set to anybody in the United States. We can go in and we can actually just type in certain cities. So we could put in San Diego, California. And what we'll notice is from 220 million, we now go down to just 2 million. So a much smaller set of people. What you'll notice here is that there's a 25-mile radius around this particular location. Think about whether or not this makes sense for your particular client. Imagine you're a shop up in La Jolla selling ice cream. Will people really drive 25 miles, even across the border, to go and get an ice cream? Maybe, but you want to keep thinking when you're going through this, who is most likely to be responding well to your particular ad? Who is most likely to see your ad and come in and buy something? So if you have a physical location, you most likely want to have that radius be quite tight around their particular store. So we can go in and we can adjust this radius and make it smaller, down to 10 miles, and you'll see that we get down to 1.8 million people, which is a little bit more precise. There's a couple other things you can go through and do with the location section. One is you can actually add in other cities and you can stack multiple locations and cities together. So you could add in Los Angeles and you could have that in addition to San Diego. And then you get these two different regions and you can see that we're targeting both of those. So you can do that, you'll notice your reach goes up as well. We can drop that back out. We can also go in and we can add in certain locations. There's some that you can just search for. So if you wanted to put in San Diego Zoo, you could put that in as a place and it'll have a radius around that, much tighter. You can also search for addresses. You can also search for zip codes. So you can go through and do all of these different things to be very precise in building out who it is you actually want to have see your ad. A couple other things as well. One is rather than including, you can also go through and you can exclude areas as well. So you could, for instance, put in all of California and then exclude certain areas, whether it's zip codes or cities or things like that. You could also do all of San Diego and then exclude certain areas if you'd like to. That works as well. Couple other things you can go through and do with locations is you can also play with who's actually going to see it. The default is going to be people living in or recently in this location. You can change it to just people living in this location. The way they know that is based on where your phone's charging at night. Kind of creepy, but kind of neat. You can look at people who were just recently in the location or people who are traveling there. Traveling, again, they know based on where it is you typically live and where you are now. And then recently, this would be like if you're going somewhere for work or school during the day, but you don't live in that particular area.